Love or Money? Chapter 4. The police arrived very quickly. There were a lot of them. Some of them with cameras went upstairs to Molly's room. Two detectives talked to Dr. Pratt in the kitchen. The family waited in the sitting room. It was a hot day again, and the windows were open. The dogs sat quietly at Diane's feet. Nobody talked. Jackie smoked. They waited for a long time. Suddenly the door opened and the two detectives came in. "Good morning. I'm Detective Inspector Walsh, and this is Sergeant Foster." The inspector did not smile. He was a big man in an old black suit and a black hat and coat. He wore a coat because he always felt cold. "Last night, someone put sleeping tablets in Mrs. Clarkson's hot milk. We are going to question everybody. And we need a room, please." Roger stood up. "I'm Roger Clarkson. You can have my father's old office. Come with me. It's along here." The office was not a very big room, but there was a table and 3 or 4 chairs. Roger opened the window. "I would like to talk first to your uncle, Albert King," Inspector Walsh said. He took off his hat and coat and sat down behind the table. "Of course," said Roger and left the room. Sergeant Foster waited by the door. He was a very tall young man with black hair and a nice smile. He was not very happy this morning because he usually played tennis on Sunday mornings. He was one of the best players at the Cambridge Tennis Club. Albert came in and sat down. "I'm going to ask some questions, Mr. King," the inspector said, "and Sergeant Foster is going to write it all down." Albert looked at his feet. Yes, it's your job. I know that." "Tell me about last night," Inspector Walsh asked quickly. "You were angry with Mrs. Clarkson." Albert looked at Inspector Walsh for the first time. "Yes, I was." Everyone was angry. Roger was angry. Diane wanted money to go to America. Then there's a man called Tom Briggs. He wants half the garden for his farm. Molly is a rich woman. I need money because my wife, Annie, Molly's sister, is very ill. I told Molly this. What happened next? Well, Molly was angry with everyone and went upstairs. We went into the kitchen for our coffee. Jackie wanted everyone to go up and say goodnight to Molly. She lives here with Molly, so she wanted Molly to be happy. At first, Roger said no. He was angry and didn't want to see his mother. And did you see Molly in her room? Yes, I was tired and I went upstairs first. I went to Molly's room and asked her for money again. But no, there was no money for her sister. Albert stopped and put his hands over his eyes. Inspector Wash watched Albert for a minute. Did you hear noises after you went to bed? Everyone went into Molly's room to say good night, I think. Later, I heard someone, he or she, went upstairs. That was about midnight. Very well, Mr. King. Thank you. You can go now. Albert left the room. Inspector Wash put his hands behind his head. What time is it? I'm hungry. We're learning a lot, but I need some coffee. Shall I go to the kitchen? Sergeant Foster asked. Oh no, later. Let's see Jackie Clarkson next. Jackie came in and sat down. She looked down at her hands and said nothing. We found the empty bottle of your mother's sleeping tablets in Diane's room, the inspector said suddenly. Then he waited. Jackie's face did not change, and she said nothing. Tell me, did your mother get her tablets from the shop in the village? Yes. My mother usually took sleeping tablets every night, so she needed a lot of tablets. Sometimes she got them from the shop. Sometimes I did. On Thursday, I asked Peter Hobbs to get them. He lives in the house across the road, and he often goes to the village on his bicycle. I see. Your mother wanted to stay in the house. How about you? Did you want to move? Jackie looked up for a minute, and then down at her hands again. This is Mother's house. I loved my mother. She was good to me. Did you see your mother in her room last night? Yes, everyone did. Diane made hot milk and took it to Mother. She usually drank a cup of hot milk before they slept. Inspector Wash put his hands behind his head. Jackie was very quiet. What did your mother say? Jackie opened her bag and looked for a cigarette. Can I smoke? Of course, this is your house, Inspector Wash said. He watched Jackie. What did your mother say? He asked again. She wanted to get downstairs again. She remembered the dogs. She wanted to get some dinner for them. I went to my room and she went downstairs. What time was this? I don't know. And midnight, I think. And the cup of hot milk? It was on the table by her bed. Did you need your mother's money? No, Inspector. Money is not important to me. There were more important things, Jackie said quietly. Well, your Uncle Albert wanted money. Tom Briggs wanted the garden. You wanted nothing? Jackie finished her cigarette and looked up at the inspector. Her eyes were suddenly angry. Don't forget Peter Hobbs. He lost his job because my mother. He wanted to kill her. You know, and what about Diane? You found the empty bottle in her bag. Inspector Walsh listened carefully. We are going to question everyone, Miss Clarkson. Jackie said nothing for a minute. Would you like some sandwiches and coffee, Inspector? Yeah, thank you. Inspector Walsh said warmly. I would like sandwiches and coffee very much. Jackie left the room. Inspector Walsh threw about her. Why was she suddenly angry? The room was quiet.